TYT Sports here. Of course, Ben is not in studio. We sent him into exile. So instead of having him, I'm here along with Steve-O and our director, Mark Register. Cha-ching. All right, an unnamed Major League official said that he was mad that Derek Jeter decided to skip the All-Star game. Of course, Derek Jeter was voted in by the fans, and one fan had a lot to say about this. Let's take a look.
What's next? I'll tell you what's next. Derek Jeter's not going to the All-Star game. Why? Because he's emotionally and physically exhausted. Are you freaking kidding me? This guy plays baseball. You want to know what the average person does on the weekend to relax? They play baseball. Derek Jeter should try to get a real job for a month. Let Derek Jeter be a cop or a fireman. Tell me how physically and emotionally exhausted he is. Let Derek Jeter be a teacher or a freaking plumber. Let him stand 8 hours a day knee deep in somebody else's feces and tell me how emotionally and physically exhausted he is, okay? They want to justify Derek Jeter not going to the All-Star game because he's got to travel a lot. He's got to go all the way to Arizona and then all the way back to New York. You know what? Try sitting in traffic 3 hours a day, Derek. Try sitting on a freaking subway train at 8:30 in the morning or 5:30 freaking night, Derek. How about you're a freaking guy working 40 hours a week? You come home on the weekend, you gotta clean your gutters, you gotta mow your lawn, you gotta change your oil. How about a woman working 8 hours a day? She comes home at night, she's gotta make dinner for her kids, she's gotta help with their homework. You don't think they're exhausted? All you people actually work for a living. Keep spending your hard-earned money on Yankee hats and Yankee jerseys. Keep making sure that Derek Jeter has enough money in his pocket so he can recuperate from playing baseball. You know what? I never heard a 10-year-old kid come to his parents and say, I can't play Little League this weekend because I'm too emotionally and physically exhausted from school all week. Derek Jeter needs a break. He needs to recuperate. Let him recuperate during the freaking off season. You should live in the real world for a freaking week, Derek. You want to see exhausted? I'll show you freaking exhausted, you schmuck. What's next? What's next? What's next?
Okay, seriously. What the hell is wrong with this guy? I understand that fans are kind of crazy. I mean, I could get crazy about Chicago sports all the time, but it's his right to choose whether or not he wants to go to the All-Star game. He said that he was emotionally and physically exhausted. I totally understand it. By the way, to the dumb schmuck who said, what's next, what's next? He would probably love to sit in traffic for 3 hours a day. Think about it. First, he has the game. Oh no, prior to the game, he has to deal with reporters, okay? And then he gets to the game. Let's say he goes 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 2, 3 strikeouts. He has to deal with reporters asking why he sucks on that particular day. And then he has to deal with fans. If it's a road game, he has to deal with just getting on the bus and going to the hotel, getting out of the hotel, fans, more fans, more fans. I mean, isn't this a little absurd for this guy to go off like this?
Yeah, Rick, the phrase STFU was invented for this guy. I mean, he's out of control. First of all, I can't stand it when regular Joe Schmo fans cry about the athletes not understanding the fans' perspective. You know what? Then shut up and become an athlete, all right? I mean, this guy's crying about, cops and plumbers. Well, guess what? Maybe some poor person in India who has to work some shitty-ass job, 80, 120 hours a week for $5, can cry about plumbers and cops in the U.S. getting too many days off, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, by his stupid logic, I mean, there's always someone lower to the totem pole who has the right to say to a person higher up, you can't cry about whatever hardships you have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really stupid. And then, these poor girls and women who are forced into prostitution in some horrible place in the world, they can say to the poor Indian worker, hey, shut up. I mean, yeah. Where does it end? Okay, just quit your crying. If you don't like your job, then don't do it. If you want to be an athlete, then become one. If you can't become one, then shut up. I mean, shut the fuck up. It was invented for this guy. Loser.
Well, I think the most important point that we're missing here, Steve, is that he's a Mets fan. He loves the Mets, actually.
Well, look, first of all, I don't even believe him. I think he's full of it. He's not that angry. No one's that angry. Just calm down. That being said, I actually think that Derek Jeter, although he doesn't have a legal obligation to play, has somewhat of a ethical obligation to play. I mean, he's a baseball player, and he's voted in by the fans. He should play. That being said, if he doesn't want to play because of other circumstances, let's say he was ill or his family was sick or he's exhausted from chasing a major record, give the guy a break.
Yeah.
Whatever, calm down.
Yeah. And other Major League Baseball players were saying, give him a break. I mean, he has accomplished so much in the game. He's the first Yankee to 3,000 hits. Imagine the pressure that you have to deal with. Waking up every morning knowing that, oh, I could have had it that day. Front page newspaper in New York, Derek Jeter. Let's say you're Derek Jeter. It's you. You think about it morning, noon, and night. Of course, Derek Jeter, coming off a calf injury that sidelined him for 3 weeks, he probably isn't even 100% yet. He's running the bases. Yeah, he could swing the bat. Probably 70% he's running the bases. I say it's his absolute right. It's not in his contract. Give him a break.